Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 242 of Ask Vidas and Ausra podcast. This question was sent by David. He writes, "Hello, Dr. Vidas. I love playing the organ, but I never learned how to finger a piece so as to learn it well. I lack confidence in fingering and get frustrated. Will your online course help me? I am learning Bach's Jesus, Joy of Man's Desiring, which I received from your website. The other piece is by Alexander Guilmant Offertoire from 18 Pieces Nouvelles, opus 90. So, Ausra, how can a person learn to make fingerings, efficient fingerings in their organ pieces? Is there a shortcut to this?
Well, yes and no, because there are some rules that you need to apply when playing early music and fingering early music, and it's different if you are playing modern music or romantic music. So, what do you think about it?
I think studying other people play helps a lot. For example, whenever I record a video in slow tempo, practicing any organ piece that I want to create later on, fingering and pedaling, and then send it to our team. I remember somebody commented that it helps not only for them to copy what I'm doing, but they also get a general idea about the principles, especially if that piece is familiar to them, and they also sort of grow in understanding how to create their own fingering when they transcribe my video.
Yes, true, because I would say that you have to get a few pieces that are fingered by a master, and then while playing, learning, studying those pieces, you will see you will adjust to those patterns, and you can take them and use them in another piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because after a while you will see that some of the motives, some of passage repeats themselves, and you will develop sort of a right habit of fingering correctly.
Were you always good at fingering organ pieces?
No, definitely not, because when I started to play organ I had no idea what the early fingering is.
I remember Professor Leopoldas Digrys at Lithuania Academy of Music, asked me to create fingering for my own piece that I was playing. It might have been some Bach's Prelude and Fugue, but I didn't know how to do it, and I actually didn't bother to learn, and I thought, why do I need this if I can pretend that I'm playing with the right fingering, and then sooner or later my fingers will pick up the right combinations. What do you think about that?
Well, I just think that our muscles has a memory too,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very harmful to to play the same pitch, let's say, of music in a different fingering each time, because it will slow you down your progress. But if you will play let's say a few times in the same fingering, it will make things easier, because your muscle memory will work.
Yes.
And while talking about the beginning of my organ studies, I remember I took one of the pieces. I think it was fanfare. to America, and I remember when Pamela Reuter-Finstra looked at that score, and she asked, who wrote that fingering and pedaling, and I told her that, it's my professor from Lithuania. I won't mention his name. She just told me, just better, throw that score away. It's really bad.
Oh, well, because Fanfare was a Baroque piece, right?
True, but all the, fingering was, like in romantic
and pedaling
time.
too.
And pedaling too. Lots of heels that are not suited in Baroque music, and the lots of using, thumb on the black keys.
I think it's a good time for now to mention a few principles that David could use in fingering and pedaling his own pieces. For example, if he is trying to create a fingering and pedaling for Alexander Guilmant piece, Offertoire, right? What are the things that he could use?
Well, you could use, of course, you need to play legato pieces like this, unless there are, indications of not to do it. So you can use the, heel in the pedal in order to make a pedal line smooth. And also you can use, finger substitution.
Finger glissandos.
Finger glissandos, and, you can put your thumb
under,
and things like this.
But finger substitutions, just like feet substitutions, like toe heel substitutions, are never to be used, in all places, right? They have their own probably instances and rules. Do you need finger substitutions when you have just one voice?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Everything could be played legato by using 5 fingers if you have just one voice.
But generally, when I'm talking about finger substitution, I keep in mind finger texture. That's when you really need to use it.
Do you really need to play all parts legato?
Well, sometimes it's impossible when it's very important that your upper voice would be played legato.
And the bass voice too.
True. But that's a pedal, So now I'm talking about manual part, because if you keep your soprano played legato, you can create illusion that you play everything legato. That's how things work on the organ.
Right. So what about early music? What are some things that he could use?
Well, when you play early music, you need to think about your hand position and about position fingering.
What does it mean?
Well, it means that, for example, if you need to reach, let's say, a wider, you have a wider lip, you will not be able to play it legato. You just have to move your entire arm to that note.
Slide from one note to another.
Yes. And of course, you need to use articulate legato, so you need to use fingering that will help you to achieve it. Because if you will use modern fingering while playing Baroque music, you could still do that, I guess, but it would be much harder, to achieve a right touch.
Because you have to think about it.
Sure.
With the early fingering, you don't have to think about it.
True. And paired fingering is especially good. It works well. And of course, no toe in pedal part.
And try to avoid using thumb and the little finger in hands. Play with second, third and the fourth finger as much as possible. Unless, there are some thicker passages and keys with more than one accidental.
That's right.
Okay, guys, we hope this was useful to you. Go ahead and write some fingerings in your organ pieces. And don't worry if you make a mistake or two. You can always correct it later, adjust, right? Because we don't always get it right at the first try.
That's right.
Or the 10th try.
True.
Okay, and please send us more of your questions. We love helping you grow. This was Vidas.
And Usha.
And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.